It's only getting every customer's order right. It's only a point-of-sale system connected by Spectrum fiber-powered business internet, helping you track hundreds of secure transactions. And it's all backed by 24/7 US-based customer support and local technicians. It's only everything. Get Business Internet Advantage free, forever, when you get 4 mobile lines from Spectrum. Visit spectrum.com/free for life to find out how. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas.
Want a game-changing way to watch college basketball? With a one-day pass from Sling, get instant access to the men's and women's tournaments starting at just $4.99. You can catch all the action on TNT, TBS, ESPN, and ESPN2. Want even more hoops? Then add an extra pack to your subscription for just $1. No overpaying, no overcommitting. Just tournaments so crazy, they'd be crazy to miss. Visit sling.com to learn more. Sling lets you do that.
Blessings and peace to you. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing today? It is Monday, January 12th, 2026. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. And as I always say, if you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen. You should not be sitting around thinking about the negative things. Focus on what is good. There are benefits to fill yourself up, to be empowered and encouraged when you focus on what is good. So make sure you stay focused on what is good today. If you are out there traveling about, make sure you are not distracted by being on your phone too much in the public. You should be paying attention to your environment. So, if you are out today in the public, make sure you are not on that phone too much, distracted. Pay attention to your environment. There is a lot going on, and we all have to pay attention to our environments when we are in the public. And make sure you pray. It's always important to pray. It doesn't hurt to pray. Make sure you pray. And lastly, I want to remind you, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. Thank you so much for your support and your donations. And if you would like to connect with me on Facebook or send me an email to ask me a question about another way you can support the podcast, please reach out via email, sbfavor@yahoo.com. Once again, if you would like to connect with me or just send me an email on how you can support the podcast, you can reach out at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. Well, I have an inspirational quote for you today. But before I start talking about that quote, I want to lastly remind you to make sure you support Feeding America. Feeding America is a great organization that provides food for families across the nation. You can find out all you need to find out about Feeding America at feedingamerica.org. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm talking kind of fast. If you need to find out everything about Feeding America, go to their website and you can find out everything you need to know about Feeding America at feedingamerica.org. Okay? All right. So the inspirational quote for today is, courage is the power to rise, to believe in yourself, and to move forward boldly, even when the path is challenging, because your purpose is greater than your fear. I want to read that again, because sometimes when you hear something more than once, it sticks with you, right? So let me read that again. Courage is the power to rise, to believe in yourself, and to move forward boldly, even when the path is challenging, because your purpose is greater than your fear. That's right. This time that we are living in, we all are being called to be courageous. We are called to be courageous. We are living in a time across the world, and it's a lot going on. There is a lot going on across the world. Now, I am not a political person. I do not do political commentary. But I will say this to you. Across America and around the world, you do not have to be afraid. You do not have to be afraid. It is important to acknowledge God. It is important to pray. And it is important to have courage. Being courageous is a duty we all must take on, because if you are afraid of something, that simply means it's something trying to stop you from being who you are supposed to be in the moment. And nothing is supposed to stop you from being who you're supposed to be in the moment. So take courage, make sure you pray, and make sure you do your part every single day to stay focused, to have courage. Because courage is your friend. Fear is your enemy. A courageous mindset starts with the right thoughts. Even if you are afraid of something in a moment, if you simply shift your mind to the place you need to be, thinking about something that gives you courage, then you will take on an attitude of courage. But if you are thinking about something that's fearful and something that makes you afraid, then you will start to think about more fearful things, or you will start to, feel more fearful, I should say. So courage starts with how you think, and you don't have to be afraid of anything. And I know that sounds easier said than done, but everything starts with how you think. As I stated to you in the last 5 episodes, I am going to be talking about the mindset for the month of January, because this is the first month of the year, and we all have to set a foundation for what's to come. All that is good and all that is necessary for us to be the best we can be. So remember, courage is your friend and fear is your enemy. We have to take on a mindset every single day to think about the things that are beneficial for us to be the best that we can be. You do not have to fear the unknown, but simply trust that God is real. I am not a religious person. I am a spiritual person. Because sometimes when you mention God, some people they go into a frenzy. Oh, she's talking about God. Look, without God, how could you breathe? Think about that for a second. So you need God, and I need God. We all need God. I don't get into what people believe and how they believe. I just know one thing for sure. God is real. I do not argue that with anyone. Sometimes when I post things on social media, sometimes atheists, here they come. Why do you believe in God? I'm not bothering you, so don't bother me. I believe in God because I'm breathing. He's giving me the breath to breathe. And then somebody might say, well, how do you know God is giving you the breath to breathe? Don't you believe in science? Yeah, I believe in science. God is the one that showed us the way according to what is scientifical. But I don't want to get all into that, because this episode is about walking in courage, because we are all being called to walk in courage. We are living in the hour to walk in courage. Do not be afraid. When you watch the news, I know sometimes it can be very disheartening and sad when you see things that are happening, especially here in America and across the world. I know it's not good, but you don't have to be afraid. Because if you take on a mindset of having courage, and if you take on a mindset of understanding that when you pray, it changes things. That's right, it changes things. Because God can help you to be more courageous. Courageous is an adjective, courage is a noun to my English students. So you have to have courage. Even when it feels fearful, you still can take on a mind of courage, a mindset of courage.
This episode is brought to you by Spreaker, the platform responsible for a rapidly spreading condition known as podcast brain. Symptoms include buying microphones you don't need, explaining RSS feeds to confused relatives, and saying things like, "Sorry, I can't talk right now, I'm editing audio." If this sounds familiar, you're probably already a podcaster. The good news is Spreaker makes the whole process simple. You record your show, upload it once, and Spreaker distributes it everywhere people listen. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and about a dozen apps your cousin swears are the next big thing. Even better, Spreaker helps you monetize your show with ads, meaning your podcast might someday pay for, well, more microphones. Start your show today at Spreaker.com. Spreaker, because if you're going to talk to yourself for an hour, you might as well publish it.
And how do you take on a mindset of courage? First, you want to start with, as I always say, your thoughts. Start with self-belief. Your thoughts and self-belief, because courage grows when you choose to trust what you can do. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe yourself. It's not an option. It is mandatory for you to believe in yourself. You have the will to choose. You have the will to think. You have all kinds of beautiful abilities. So believe in yourself, firstly. And remember, as you believe in yourself, you have to take on the right mindset that is connected to walking in courage. Number 2, focus on your purpose, not your obstacles, not the problem that's in front of you, but focus on walking through what you have to walk through, because purpose gives strength to your actions. When you decide that you're going to get through something, and if you decide that you are going to be determined because of the purpose, by how you are focused, you won't give room to being fearful because of the problems or the obstacles, so to speak. Because you are focused on the purpose. Whatever the purpose is, it could be a small purpose, it could be a great purpose. But when you're focused on the purpose, or whatever it is you're going through, or whatever it is you need to get through, when you're focused on the purpose, that purpose will give you strength to your actions. Number 3, take one bold step daily, because courage is built through consistent actions. If you are afraid of something in the moment, shift your mind to a place of courageous thinking, courageous thoughts. Even if you have to tell yourself, I am not afraid. Simply saying that out loud is powerful. I am not afraid. I am not afraid. That's it. I remember years ago, I used to be so afraid to get on the stage and sing. For those of you that don't know, I'm a singer. I used to be so afraid to get on the stage and sing, and I used to be so afraid to get on the stage and talk to people. And I had so many people encourage me. This was a long time ago. I was in my 20s. I had so many people encouraging me, so many people telling me, come on, you can do it, you can do it. People were giving me books, and they were giving me instructions on what to do and how to think. And, I was a little baby. I was about 24, 25 years old. Didn't know no better. I was afraid of everything at that age. But once I stirred up the courage by thinking powerful and thinking according to what is courageous, I was able to do it. I was afraid, and I did it anyway with courage. Got on the stage and started talking to people, got on the stage, started singing. And so when you feel like you are afraid, that is the perfect moment to stir up courage. Now, I'm not talking about getting in somebody's face and acting a fool. I'm not talking about that. To me, that's not courage. Doing something that's not wise, that's not courage. That's just foolishness. But I'm talking about if you are afraid of something, and in that moment, you know you have to go forward. You know you have to make a decision. You know you have to complete a task. In that moment, that's when you have to take on a mindset of courage. And it's simple to shift your mind to a place of believing in yourself and telling yourself, I can do it and I'm not afraid. Simple words. I can do it and I'm not afraid. That's right. I can do it and I'm not afraid. That's when you will take on a mind shift to go forward anyway, even if you feel afraid. Number 4, replace fear with faith. What you feed grows stronger every single day. If you're sitting around by yourself and you are entertaining fearful thoughts and you're watching all those horror films and you're doing all the things that are feeding your fear, that means you're feeding your fear. So feed your faith. Feed what uplifts you. Feed what inspires you. Because what you feed will grow stronger. When I was fearful, I decided to feed myself courage. And how did I do that? I would read all kinds of books. I would watch all kinds of inspirational speakers on television. I would meditate, journal. I would do everything to build myself up at that time. That's what I did. I did everything to build myself up because I was so afraid. And so now I just encourage myself the same way. If I feel afraid of something, I just encourage myself the same way. I stay focused on being courageous and not fearful. I was in the dark one day and I said, oh, a thought came to my mind. Somebody might come near that window. And I said to myself, I am protected by God. And I started laughing. Just that quick. I was, a crazy thought came to my mind because I was in the dark in my house. And all of a sudden I said, no, I am protected by God. And I started laughing. So a fearful thought can make you act crazy for no reason. Thinking about something that's not even real. It's not healthy. So remember, replace fear with faith because what you feed grows stronger. Number 5, see challenges as training, not punishment, because every difficult situation can develop your character to be more courageous, to have more courage and to be more courageous. So when you are in the midst of a challenge at work, if your boss is getting on your nerve, if your family members are getting on your nerve, your husband, wife getting on your nerve, and you feel uncomfortable because of their actions, not that they're doing anything wrong to you, but if you feel uncomfortable, it could simply mean that you have to grow in character in that moment. Yes. It could simply mean that you simply just need to grow in character. And it takes courage to look at yourself and admit and say, oh, I need to grow in character. Growing in character has everything to do with having the right responses and reactions to people on all levels, plural. So you gotta stay focused And as you stay focused, there will be many benefits for you to grow, and there will be many benefits for you to improve when it comes to how you think. Because challenges are tools of empowerment. That's what I call challenges. Challenges are tools of empowerment, because anytime you have the right perspective about what is challenging you, then you will be empowered. But if you go through a challenge and you're just complaining about everything, no. That's not empowerment. That's a setback. So change your perspective and understand that you can take courage in the midst of your challenges, because your challenges are training and not punishment. Number 6, speak positively over yourself. Your words shape your courage. Oh, I love this. Speak positively over yourself. That is major. I always say speak life. Speak life over yourself. Speak positively over yourself has everything to do with your words that you think and what you are saying verbally about yourself every single day. We have to align our words and our thoughts with the things we want to experience and not the things we do not want to experience. If you don't like something, why are you speaking about something according to the thing you don't like? Ask yourself that question. And then you will start to understand the power of speaking about.
This episode is brought to you by Spreaker, the platform responsible for a rapidly spreading condition known as podcast brain. Symptoms include buying microphones you don't need, explaining RSS feeds to confused relatives, and saying things like, "Sorry, I can't talk right now, I'm editing audio." If this sounds familiar, you're probably already a podcaster. The good news is Spreaker makes the whole process simple. You record your show, upload it once, and Spreaker distributes it everywhere people listen. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and about a dozen apps your cousin swears are the next big thing. Even better, Spreaker helps you monetize your show with ads, meaning your podcast might someday pay for, well, more microphones. Start your show today at Spreaker.com. Spreaker, because if you're going to talk to yourself for an hour, you might as well publish it.
The things you want to see and the things you will experience and want to experience versus the things you don't want to experience. For an example, a person may say something like, "Oh, I want to get married one day," for an example. And the person will say something like, "Oh, nobody don't want to marry me." Well, guess what? You just spoke into existence. Don't nobody want to marry you because you just said it. So stop speaking like that. You might want to live in a certain type of environment or neighborhood. You might want a beach house one day. You might want to travel to a certain country. And the person might say things like, "Oh, I can't afford that." Why are you saying that? If you want to travel and if you want to do something that you've never done before, and you say things like, "I can't afford it," that's not aligning with the thing you want to experience. So align your words and your thoughts according to what you want to create, what you want to manifest, and do it with courage. Do it with courage. Because when you take the initiative to have more courage according to how you think and the actions you take, that means you are changing your life. That's right. So speak more positively over yourself. Number 7, act before you feel ready. Readiness comes after a movement. So act before you feel ready. In other words, don't wait until you feel ready to do something. Act before you feel ready. That's courage. Courage will give you an appetite to take risk. Yes. Courage will give you the appetite to do things that don't make sense to some people that like to stay comfortable. Courage will give you insight to do something you didn't think you can do. So you have to walk in courage, not just for you, but you got to walk in courage for that friend, that family member, that coworker, because every time you show your courage, you are helping someone else to have courage. Somebody is always watching you from a distance. You may not think they are, but they are. Somebody is always listening to you from a distance. You may not think they are, but they are. So, act before you feel ready. Number 8, detach from the need for approval. Because courage often means standing alone first. I'm going to say that again. Detach from the need for approval. Because courage often means standing alone first. When you take on a mindset of initiating and stirring up courage, you don't have time to think about what other people think. Because you are positioning yourself to do what you need to do. And whatever it is you're trying to achieve or accomplish, your focus is on the goal. So you don't have time to think about what people are thinking, because courage often means standing alone first. It's about the choice and the decision you make in the moment to do what it is you're trying to do with courage. So detach from the need for approval, because courage often means standing alone first. Number 9. Use fear as a signal, not a stop sign. If you feel afraid for any reason, that's a signal to do something to oppose it. That's right. Use fear as a signal, not a stop sign, because fear points to where you need to grow. That's what it points to. It will point to where you need to grow, because all of us like comfort zones. And if fear is pointing to a place in your life that you need to grow, it's okay for it to be exposed so that you can know in that particular area you have to grow. That's right. Don't make excuses. Don't give it a pass. But tell yourself, I am going to walk in courage. And I am going to do what it takes to grow one day at a time. Number 10. Remember past victories. They remind you of your strengths. Remember past victories. They will remind you of your strengths. The things that you have already done is a testament to what you can do now. The things that you have already done is a testament to what you can do now. So if you look at something that you have already conquered, something you've already achieved, then the path you're on now, what you have already done, should inspire you. So always remember past victories. Number 11, surround yourself with courageous people. Bravery is contagious. When my daughter was a little girl and she fell down on the ground, I guess she was about maybe 5 or 6, something like that. She fell down on the ground. Her skin was a little red, and I looked at her skin and she cried a little bit, and I said, okay, you got to get up. And I said, are you okay? And she said, yeah, Mom, I'm okay. And I said, I want you to remember something. I said, don't focus on the pain. Focus on the other side of it. And I said to her, because pain comes and goes. So when you feel something, it's okay to acknowledge what you feel, but just remember, it doesn't stay there. So she developed this saying, come and go, come and go. So she would hit a foot, or she would get into a little accident around the house, and she would say, come and go, come and go. And I laughed so hard about it, because my daughter is much older now, and she developed that based upon what I said. So instead of her focusing on the pain, she tells herself, come and go, come and go. Pain comes and goes. It doesn't stay. So I'm saying all that to say that we have to remember our strengths. When you focus on your strengths, when you focus on your abilities, and you surround yourself with courageous people, remember, bravery is contagious. So, when you surround yourself with the right people, you will be courageous. And in moments where you think you can't be courageous, you can be courageous. So, my daughter went through that, and today she is a very courageous woman because of what I said to her. She developed the thought pattern of, I have to be strong. Instead of thinking, oh, I hurt my foot, oh, I hurt my hand, she developed a thought pattern of, I have to be strong. Because we all can be strong. It's an act of your will. And in this time that we're living in, we all are being called to be courageous. We have to be courageous. Number 12, choose progress over perfection. I talked about this last week because courage can be a imperfect action. Because you can take courage to do something and it might not be done completely right, but because you took action, that's courage. That's right. Number 13, turn pressure into purpose. Let challenges refine you. Understand that. In the midst of challenges, as I stated earlier, your empowerment can come from the challenges, but being that much more sharper is your refinement in the midst of the pressure. The next one, protect your mindset. What you allow into your mind shapes your actions. And lastly, celebrate every brave step, no matter how difficult it is, and no matter how small it is, it counts. Because we all are being called to have courage in this hour. There is a lot going on around the world, and particularly here in America. And you do not have to be afraid. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but the spirit of love, power, and a sound mind. A mind of peace, that's a sound mind. The energy and the spirit of love, the spirit of peace, and a sound mind. That's what God has given us. God is not the author of confusion. He is the author of peace. And so you don't have to be afraid. When you feel the need to pray, make sure you pray. When you feel the need to take courage by talking to someone that has courage, then do so. But don't sit around having thoughts that are not beneficial to you. But take on a mindset of courage, because you don't have to be afraid in this hour that we live in. As I stated earlier, I am not a political person. Yes, I am well informed, but I don't do political commentary. If somebody asks me a question, I may give them some feedback on my perspective, but I do not do political commentary on this podcast. But I will tell you this. Courage will make the difference. Your prayer will make the difference. And being focused will make the difference in your life. You have a choice to stay focused every single day. You have a choice to do what is necessary for you, your family, and your community. And as you make those decisions to do what is beneficial, you will come out on the better side. You just have to stay focused every single day. You don't have to be subject to the things that make you less. Be subject to the things that make you the best. So thank you so much for tuning in to listen to SB Favor Thinking Podcast. If you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and also please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click like, Leave me some feedback and make sure you share this podcast with others. And lastly, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SBFavor, or you can give at Venmo at sbfavor. Thank you so much for your support. I will be back tomorrow with another episode. So make sure you have a good day and focus on what is good.